Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Write With Me. So, for those of you who are new, this is Write With Me, live screenwriting from scratch. Today we're doing day 23, and we're doing cleanup for outline. So, we've been working on this piece for about 23 sessions now, about an hour and 15 minutes each. Give you a sense. We're almost ready to take it to the next level and put together the outline. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome to Screenwriting, the Ballad of Garvin Hackett. This is a movie script being written completely from scratch. The log line is The Ballad of Garvin Hackett is an ironic, darkly comic take on 90s action movies. Forrest Gump meets Scarface, directed by Sidney Lumet. So the laws of physics actually apply. Instead of going the traditional development route, I'm writing this movie in public directly for you to visualize later as a cinematic graphic novel. I've had some new ideas about ways to visualize it, which I will share later once we start the visualization phase. But for now, grab a notebook or keyboard and write along with me. And if you want to follow along from the beginning, check out the Liminal Boundaries Channel. That's this channel, and you can see the link here. You'll see the link in the description below. And as becoming tradition, I will welcome everyone into the empty chat and see if somebody pops in and wants to give me some ideas to include into the movie. All right. So this is what we're at. That's the description. Let's get into our to-dos. So the first thing, I want to just be a little bit more efficient. And every time I do a stream, I try to think, like, what can I do that could be more efficient? And actually, I'm going to just put this in right here. Let's go here. I'm going to open. I'm going to streaming upgrades. And I'm going to say here, record the intro. Record the masterclass announcement. Those are the two things. I do them every single day. And I think that having those automated would make this a lot easier. That way I can get started on cue. It'll be a little bit more consistent. So that's that. We don't need to deal with this today, though. But one upgrade that I do want to do, and I'm going to ask the AI how to do it, is I'm going to go here and I'm going to say, what is the hotkey on Windows for the history forward and back in Obsidian tabs? So you're in an Obsidian tab, you've got the forward and back arrow. What is the hotkey to navigate that history? Just one thing that I always use the mouse for, and I'd like to have a hotkey for it since my hands are already on the keyboard. Let's see what we got. Control Alt. It's funny because these things are so obvious, only 2 or 3 of those, but when you try to actually find it, it's really hard. Let's see if it works. So let's go to Garvin Hackett, and let's go to, I don't know, go back to the notes. So we say here, there we go, perfect. Now we have just one little thing to get around a little faster. All right, so let's go to it. So we're going to the to-dos. Let's find the to-dos. And we've got the hotkey for switching history. And now let's clean up the Roger Gus character sheet. Now I was looking at the Roger Gus character sheet. There's a lot to work on. But I was looking at a few other sheets. My goal is I don't do any writing, but every once in a while, before I start looking through the stuff to see what I'm going to do today. And in this case, I discovered we have a lot of work to do. So this is good because it'll get the whole outline into our heads. So we're going to review the character sheets and story sheets in general. We're going to work our way methodically down. But let's start with Roger Gus and let's clean that up. So we're going to here. We're going to go to the characters. Well, I don't have Beatrice here. Okay. Let's go to the characters. Let's go to Roger Gus. Okay. So these are the notes, lots of notes. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to take everything that is not particular to this character, anything is particular to the world the character was in, and move it into another section, which I think we called it what? What do we call that? Research. The research section. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new file. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a new file, and I'm going to call it Writing Garvin. Come on. Try it again. Garvin Hackett. Research. In that file, we're going to do this little hack that I do, which you take the data view and you pull in all the child files with the data view snippet. Data view lets you do like SQL. So there, now we have all our research, and we see what we have research about. We have the conspiracy board, exotic cars, gangs, home theater technology, law enforcement, news broadcast, prison system, prison inmate communication schemes, and research sources. So now, when we look at Roger, we can see, is this about Roger specifically, that we have to put it into Roger stuff, or like leave it in his character sheet, or is this something that we can move into research? If it's something we can move into the character sheet, I'll actually try to move it into his main decisions, actually integrate it into the story. So let's see. So this is his character sheet. His show name is Panic Button. Okay. He doesn't reveal Garvin's identity because Garvin would kill him. I found them. I'll find you. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's why he wouldn't reveal Garvin's identity. And then the set piece idea. Use the weather. What if hurricane? Okay, these are ideas, right? That maybe is going into some sort of idea thing. Let's see. Roger finds James Roberts' charred wallet. I think we got that, right? Let's see. Here's the decision one. Ambush interview Garvin's mom. So this is a scene. So I think Roger asked for an interview, or at least, okay, so let's see. We have decision two. Yeah. Okay, so he does ask for an interview. Garvin could just take the wallet at gunpoint. In the wallet, there's a storage facility card. Garvin hides there at some point. Okay. Yeah, so this is a... Garvin discovers storage facility. Okay, so I'll just leave that in for now. These are just ideas. But Garvin should take the wallet at gunpoint, because he's kind of a criminal now. Right? And then... oh my god, I just had a crazy idea for the Tammy Lynn scene. I haven't seen this since Straw Dogs, and I don't think Straw Dogs could get made today. But let's see. Sam Peckinpah was a genius. So... okay, she slaps him, he respects her. Yeah, they hook up. So I'm gonna just put here. It looks rapey, but do the Straw Dogs things. Right. So the Straw Dogs thing, for those of you who haven't seen, probably the best scene in the whole movie. The whole movie is amazing. I didn't really like the third act so much, but the rest of the movie is pretty good. The subplot I didn't like so much. But wow, when the dimensions between the husband and wife, she has an ex-boyfriend, and the ex-boyfriend is very you know, kind of like, and she married an intellectual guy played by Dustin Hoffman. And at some point, the boyfriend comes in when Dustin Hoffman's out, you know, shooting, and he rapes her. And it's a really, really fascinating scene because of its complexity. There's like several aspects of it that, yeah, it's an amazing scene. And it's very rarely do you see that kind of stuff treated with the complexity of the straw dog scene. So I'm going to try to add that in to Garvin Hackett, that kind of complexity a little bit. Okay, so where were we? Roger Gust. So we have decisions. Okay, so this, he asks for the interview. We already have that. So let's just integrate that. Yeah. And okay. Maybe he could call Garvin a force of nature. You know? Let's see. That's actually a good note. Force of nature. Maybe the finale could be during the hurricane. Who knows? Yeah. Let's see. This is funny. Roger buys something for Garvin with the charred cash. Oh, no, no. I've got it. I've got it. Garvin. Yeah. The wallet is empty. Roger tries to bribe Garvin with the charred cash. And Garvin takes that too. Because it's his dad's cash, you know? It's a charred wallet, charred cash. Alright, it's kind of funny. Okay. Roger finds James Roberts' charred wallet. That's gonna be in the police scene. So it's not really his. I mean, it is a meaningful decision, but it's not his character defining decision. It's sort of what we set him up. That's sort of the setup, right? In his story. So let's go to this story. Roger Gust. Yep. So it's already put into the setup. Excellent. So cool. So that's repetitive, so we can delete it from his character. Excellent. That's why we're here. And now we can go here. Boom. Go back to that story and let's open it in like its own thing, so we don't have to keep going back to it. Okay. So we got that. That's encoded. The important thing is to just get these ideas down and put them in the right place. Let's see. Set piece idea. Use the weather. What if hurricane? Yeah, that's a cool idea. But I don't know. Let's see. Garvin discovers storage facility. Okay, so the storage facility. That's more a Garvin story. So let's throw that into Garvin. So let's see. Story. I guess Garvin here? Because that's story A is Garvin. Just being recruited, Booby Boy's murder montage, twist. Right, so that's just the beginning. So I'm gonna go twist. I'm gonna add another twist. And then yeah. So this is all Booby Boy's murder montage. So the twist is Garvin hides in the storage facility. Okay. And so there we want, he can't go back, like wherever his Let's see. So, Booby Boys and Joel, maybe, send people to kill Garvin at his safe house. Garvin hides in the storage facility. Yeah, so Garvin goes to hide in the storage facility. And there's another twist there where he discovers in the storage facility. Garvin opens some trunks and uncovers his father's arsenal. There you go. Okay, so that's the scene, right? And then this storage facility card is something that happens elsewhere, but it's a piece of important. It's just one twist after another. It's kind of an there's got to be, there's more escalations. I don't know. This is kind of an escalation. If Joel does it, it's a twist, right? So, because you wouldn't have expected Joel to do it, right? What if both? That's kind of funny. All right. So we still need Garvin to uncover. Oh, let me start my timer. Jeez. Gotta start the timer, guys. Start my timer here. All right. So Garvin, let's see. We need the scene where Garvin discovers the wallet. Right? Yeah. So at some point here, Garvin meets Roger Gust. And that's where he gets his dad's wallet. And discovers a storage facility. Right? Card with a code. All right, and then he hides in the storage facility after, with nowhere to hide. To hide. Garvin. Oops. Where are we? We're back over here. Garvin hide in the storage facility. Okay. So Garvin's going to hide in the storage facility. We'll figure this out. We'll clean this up later. But at least we got the idea down. Okay. So where were we? Roger Gust. So Roger shows Garvin's mother the charred wallet, pulls out the driver's license. His last drive. His mother's in shock. There we go. All right, and let's go. This is not a note anymore. It's goes into the scene. So exit out. Okay. But that's not what I wanted. What's this? There we go. Okay. So with death, and we'll go down one, and we'll go to the beginning. And we'll say Roger shows Garvin's mother the charred wallet, pulls out his father's driver's license. His last drive ends up discovering Garvin's revenge walk live. I bet. Okay, cool. So that's good. It's a nice little scene there. Later the fat boogie boy guy has bandages all over and he's suing because he was assaulted. Ooh, it's actually pretty good. Okay, Roger in a James O'Keefe moment where a fat Mark realizes he's been duped on camera and he tries to run away, but he's really fat, so he falls down. Roger's in every booze. Okay. So this is all when Garvin and Roger meet. So I'm trying to think. When do Garvin and Roger meet? Let's look at Heat. Heat's a good movie where they did that really well. Let's see. In the movie Heat, if you were looking at the screenplay for it, where's the scene where Robert De Niro's character and Al Pacino's character meet at the diner? How far into the movie is that? In what act? And how far into that act? I think it would be like the midpoint, right? Maybe near the midpoint. Let's see. A little funny detail about Heat is that they made a conscious choice to keep the gunshots as they were recorded, as opposed to movie gunshots. And for years after that, a lot of people would go into the sound design and they would like, I want the gunshots to sound like Heat. And so sound designers were stuck in the situation where what sound designers were taught to make a gunshot was not what gunshots actually sounded like when you recorded them. So it's kind of funny for a while. Celebrated moments in cinema history. Jesus Christ, blow it up. If you are tracking it structure-wise on the page, exactly where it lands. Scene numbers. A scene is designated scene 139B 140. Page number. Michael Mann's official shooting script. It's a 5-page scene. So it's the end of the second act, it seems like. Well, let me see. How far is, I don't know how long the movie is. So the exact time stands 1 hour, 41 minutes during this conversation. I don't need to know all this stuff. Where is, in the middle of Act 2. It's the turn. Structural significance. In traditional screenwriting structure, this scene serves as the midpoint in the entire narrative. It's the crucial pivot point where the hunter and the hunted finally look each other in the eye, establish a mutual respect, and explicitly acknowledge that their next encounter will likely result in one of them dying. Yep. How far into the act? Progress through. It's exactly 50. That's what I thought. Perfect. That's the midpoint. So that's cool. Oh, shoot. I didn't include you guys in this. So yeah, in Heat, it's progress is exactly the midpoint. That's a great scene, and it's a midpoint scene. That's what my instinct was telling me. So the Roger meeting is the midpoint, and that's actually Roger's. Yes. Yep, right here. So this is where all of this happens. Great. So okay, great. So this is how Roger and Garvin meet. So escalation 2, Roger meets Garvin. Perfect. I already had that in my notes. Wow. It's just deduping it. Half of life is just deduplication. It's just filtering all your ideas into something useful. Let's see. Okay. Roger Gus in a James O'Keefe-like moment where a fat Mark realizes he's been duped and he's on camera as he tries to run away, but he's really fat, so he falls down. Roger's interviewing the Booby Boys or infiltrating undercover to get info, so they are Booby Boys turf. Yeah. So he turns out Roger is interviewing a Booby Boy. A Booby Boy. Undercover. On Booby Boy's turf. So let's just go here and we'll go here. On Booby Boy's turf. When Garvin shows up and starts killing people. Right. And I'll put this is after he kills the mob boss, which we already have in my notes. In the water scene, in the yacht scene. So he is cleaning up. Okay, and then, yeah, he shoots the cameraman's shoulder cam. Right. And that's how Roger and Garvin meet. And this is the do the wallet scene. Great. So great. That's actually really nicely integrated now. All right. Let's see. Garvin tips Roger off. Later, the fat Booby Boy's got a bandage all over and he's suing because he was assaulted. That's pretty funny. Maybe Roger's at the position. He gets a call from Garvin. Yes, that's how we start. Okay. So this is the setup for the scene where Garvin tips Roger off. Yep. And we'll set this up right here. Yeah. Roger's at a deposition. Because he's being sued. And he gets the call. Meet him at X at 8 p.m. Yeah. Yeah, and I'll just put the Booby Boy. Yep. There. We'll say change. So the fat Booby Boy has got bandages all over. He's suing because he was assaulted. Yeah, he's suing Roger. And then Roger gets the call from Garvin. If he wants a story, meet him at X at 8 p.m. And Roger shows up at the Vent headquarters and everyone is watching. Yep. Cool. And we will just delete this. And there we go. Roger shows up. Everyone's watching. Okay. Cool. Clean. No notes. 10 out of 10. All right. So there we go, guys. That's a nice clean document. All integrated into his story sheet. And that's what we want to be looking at. So let's go back to our stories. Let's see, story A. We got a lot of stuff in here. Okay. Yeah, this is a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's see what we got. Okay, so Whitey Jackson, escalation, prison dorms. Whitey's in trouble with his boss. Whitey convinces the Booby Boys. Garvin's mother comes to visit. Garvin successfully executes his first kill. Garvin gets selected for early provisional release. Garvin is recruited by Joelle. Joelle sends a sleek, tinted South Beach. Oh, you know what? I need to do some research, actually. This is a research question. Let's see. I'm going to actually change this. I'm going to call it research questions. I'm going to rename this research questions. And I'm going to put here. Here up to prison system. This is a prison system research question. Exactly how would an inmate be informed that they are on being released early? What is the notification mechanism? It's kind of an interesting question, right? Want to look into that. Okay. So back to where we were. Story A. Notes. So this is our big story, our main story of the movie, and we're going to just try to clean this all up. Let's see what we got. When Garvin goes to pick up the car, he can pick it up at the mechanics where he was working from the halfway house. So you get that this mechanic is affiliated with organized crime, owned by the Venta gang. Then the junkyard can be reused later for Garvin to get Whitey's car. Yep. So that's a good use of space, but the question is where. So let's see in the story. Where can we put that? Escalation, prison, Whitey, prison, first kill. Yep. 1993, provisional release. Yep. Okay. And I'll put here the junkyard. Okay, so the mechanic. So let's just copy it for now. And right here. Okay, so it's set up at a junkyard / halfway house. Affiliated. Yep. Affiliated with the Venta gang. There you go. And then that is he gets set up at a junkyard halfway house with a dang where he dismantles and fixes junk cars. Cool. And then so that's the junkyard. The junkyard. Okay. And then let's go to Button Man, the murders, the twist. Yes, from the junkyard. No. Okay. And let's just paste this in here. Not the junkyard mechanics. Yep. Cool. So that's done. So that means that we can go back to the notes, and this is now repetitive. Boom. Okay. This is a funny joke here. You can do a nice setup and payoff where So he set you up with a fine job. There you go. And it's at a junkyard. All right. Let's see. Use one for one of the murder scenes. Yeah, I got that. That's in there. Let me put that into. I'm gonna put that into. Let's put that into the. Where does that go? That goes into the story. Into the A story with all the murders. Motorcyclist 2. That's this one. Source. There we go. So I got that. That's no longer a note. All right. Yes, everyone is watching Panic Button, Joel's Gang, the Movie Boys, they all watch. Yeah. Oh, the Movie Boys counterattack and Garvin kills them all. That's interesting. So there's the James O'Keefe situation. And then it's the Booby Boys planning the counterattack, and that's actually fun. But how would Garvin? That would be a great way to that would be a great way for him to meet Roger. But how would Roger find out about that? Okay, we'll think about that. This is an important one, but we'll come back to it. Everyone is watching. That's important. Everyone's watching. Gang boss. Okay. Yeah, and then here we go. We'll paste this. Everyone is watching Panic Button. Okay. So, we need I kind of need him to meet his girlfriend. That's got to be happening earlier. So we'll figure that out later. We'll figure out the order of events. Let's see, real quick. Somebody is calling me. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see. So this Booby Boys idea, we're gonna sit on that because that's actually a great idea. They're all planning the attack, and they're like, "Oh, this is gonna happen." And just Garvin walks in and machine guns everybody. So stealing cars. Okay. Slide hammer. Okay. The club. Oh my god, that's really funny. He's chasing a guy down and the guy has the club in his car so he can't drive. That's really funny for the montage. I'm gonna put that in. The club. One guy tries to run to his car, but he has the club. So he can't drive away. Gets shot. Garvin. Then, yeah, that's just funny. Just the club. People would remember. Okay. Yeah, he'd probably steal a car from the mechanics. Well, he'd probably steal a car. Just generally steal a car to get where he's going. That would be really funny if the people who came to kill him have a club. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, he goes to this is what he'll do. He'll go to an empty parking lot. That's what he's gonna do. I like this because that's a very Miami thing. So yes. Okay. So yeah, that's a twist, and then we'll call it a twist here. Garvin has no halfway house. No safe house, I should say. No safe house. No no support. Steals a car. One of his would-be assassins. And parks in an empty parking lot. It doesn't know what to do. He looks at his father's wallet and finds the storage facility card. And that's it. So he's in the storage facility, and that's the twist. And then, yep. Okay. So yep. That was at public storage not too long ago, and there's actually people who live in them. They sometimes will wire up electricity and stuff for their hot plates and whatnot. Interesting way to save on the rent. Okay, so the Booby Boys counterattack, and Garvin kills them all. This would be a great... This has to be in the first half of the second act. And it's the last scene where he meets Roger. So, yep. Yep. Garvin gets his dad's wallet. From Roger. Okay. I think maybe the James O'Keefe... This is the James O'Keefe moment. Right? So if we have the James O'Keefe moment... is how Roger figures out what the Booby Boys are up to. And he shows up at the massacre. Garvin is just finishing up. That's how they meet. Roger is catching up. Okay, that's an important... Where are we? This is story A. This is really Roger. So this belongs in Roger's story. So let's go. Roger. Okay. Yep. So... Okay. We'll call it escalation 1.5. Oopsie. Shoot. Try that again. Yes, James O'Keefe moment. So, yeah. Are about to plan their revenge. Revenge, and he shows up at the massacre. And so basically revenge, and he shows up at the, say, Booby Boys compound. Booby Boys compound, dock, the port, just as Garvin arrives to clean up loose ends. Okay, so yeah, that's how they meet. Cool. So there's a scene with Joelle, when Joelle informs Garvin of the situation as well. Okay, so we got something there. That's good. And so we got the gang boss. We got we were planning the counterattack, and Garvin kills them all. Garvin gets his dad. Okay, cool. So we figured out a way to integrate the James O'Keefe moment with this. Okay. Okay. So let's move down. Booby Boys counterattack, and Garvin kills them all. That's done. Planning counterattack. And tying up loose ends. Okay, so that will go story A. Yep. Cool. We got that. All right, good. And now we got stealing cars. So this is not about Garvin. This is more about stealing cars and how to do it. Set piece location. The twist, the frustration, the pivot, the discovery. This is all. Okay, yeah, the trunk. That needs to be synthesized. That's not going to be. Okay. This just needs to be detailed. Okay, so let's go into it. So basically this is the stealing cars, the club. Let's say stealing cars. All right. So we're going to create a note. Writing. Garvin Hackett. Research. Stealing cars. And then here, we'll put that. Okay, cool. So as far as we're concerned, that's cleaned up. And let's go back to where we were. Infighting. So this one of the Booby Boys was a Fed. I don't care so much. I just want to downplay the police. I don't want them to be a character because there's so many characters in this already, and at some point it just gets too much. Okay, and then everyone finds out at the same time. At that point, everyone's out to Garvin. Okay, so that's cool, but that's the story A. Perfect. And where is this? Okay. Okay. Yep. And then we'll just put it here. So everyone's out at this point. Everyone's after Garvin. Okay. And then I would imagine that it's. I would imagine. Now that I think about it, the Booby Boys are gone, effectively. They don't exist anymore. So maybe Joelle would send somebody, some people. Oh. Well, Whitey can't be out yet. Because Garvin just figured this out. Okay. So we'll figure this out. It could be cool if Whitey's the one who tries to kill Garvin. But okay, let's see. The Booby Boys no longer exist. There's no Fed. And Roger wanting the story makes no sense. But this makes sense. The Venta guy wants him dead. So let's do that. Send people to kill him at the safe house, and we'll. Yep, he knows too much. And then yeah, the Garvin kills a Fed thing. I don't want to turn it in that direction. Let's see. And then the twist. The gang boss tells Garvin that Whitey is finally getting released from prison. Yeah. This is just too much. Yeah, but the flat tire is a great thing. Okay, here's the bullet point list of everything Garvin finds in the trunk. A flat tire. Yeah. I'm going to... to the corner. Yeah, we would need a brand, but whatever. And then we got a Polaroid. Let's see. So the donut shop. The ultimate target verification. The Bondo can. That's good. The gunpowder canister. Okay. And the steel pipes. This is the big one. Matching end caps. We don't need from a hardware store. With crude holes. And then loose scraps of brightly colored copper wire. So, okay. And sitting next to a gummy half-melted roll of black electrical tape. Wire connections together. Okay, so this is what we see in the trunk. And we'll just add this to the trunk scene. But let's move the Polaroid down. Okay. 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 Let's see. See what he finds in the trunk. Okay. Yeah, and then Garvin goes back to Tammy Lynn's. Yeah, Garvin goes. Tammy Lynn is gone. Right? He watches Roger's show. He watches Panic Button. No, the TV is on. Panic Button comes on. All right. So then, all right. So let's see. Yeah, he doesn't hand Garvin the keys. He does that. So this is towards the end. So this really this is more of a Joelle story. Yeah. Let's do that. Yep. He doesn't hand Garvin the keys. He tells him Joelle doesn't negotiate his old car. Yep. So that's good. Go back to story A. Okay. All right. Yeah. This is salvage yard. Okay. One of the tires is completely rotted. Flat from sitting in the dirt for years. Let's see. Let's see. So, Garvin walks to the back of the car and pops the trunk to grab the spare tire and the jack. Cool. All right. Okay. Okay, that's done. Let's move that into story A. Okay. All right. All right, that twist is done. So we have some set piece, location, South Beach Renaissance nightclub scene, models on South Beach, party at Joelle's house. I think this should be more like Joelle's stuff. Yeah, the longshoreman, that's the booby boys. But let's go to Joelle's story. I'll just throw this in the notes down here. Okay. And this Port of Miami thing, that's more booby gang, so that's Roger Gust's story. Yeah. Yeah. So, Port of Miami, Longshoremen, Booby Boys. I'll clean this up later. Well, I'll clean it up now. Let's see. Roger meets Garvin. He sees Garvin at a crime scene. Okay. Tips. Yep. Killing Rufus. Garvin refuses. Roger Gustin and James O'Keefe's like, okay. So this mark is before that escalation. Yep. Cool. So I can X that. And this. Yes. So James O'Keefe moment is how Roger Gus, okay, figures the movie was plans to revenge. Okay, and then I'll put the mark. The mark realizes he's been duped and he's on camera and he tries to run away really fast, but he's fat, so he falls down. Okay, and then Port of Miami Longshoremen. Yep. Port of Miami Longshoremen. Booby Boys Hangout. Okay, and then yeah. So this Booby Boys turf. Yeah. Booby Boys turf. I like that. Okay. Roger goes to Port. Yeah. Roger goes to Port of Miami. Booby Boys turf. Okay. Yeah, so the sequence of events is as follows. Let's just write a quick sequence because, okay. So, Booby Boys planning revenge. Garvin shows up, kills everyone. Hears a noise. Sees Roger's van. Hides. Roger sees the crime scene. Discovers Garvin. Realizes who he is. Then asks him for an interview. That's it. And then wallet exchange. Okay. Cool. So Roger meets Garvin. This is good. Okay. Garvin refuses. That. Okay. Okay, so yep. We need this cleanup scene. So we'll do this. Let's see. No. There. Okay. This is Roger Gust. Roger arrives. Okay. Yep. And then he discovers Garvin. And then, okay. Garvin, the crime scene. Cleaning up the loose ends. Yeah, it's cleaning up the loose ends. Okay. And then I'll just put the sequence here. Telling you, at this point, the stuff starts writing itself. Okay. So there we go. So those notes are gone. No notes. 10 out of 10. All right. So that's a little bit less to do. Let's see. No notes. 10 out of 10. So this is like massive cleanup, guys. You see, we're really integrating everything into the story. So all we have with Joel is his set piece locations, which we'll figure out later. Let's go back to our stories. Let's see. Stealing cars. Close it out. Let's go back to story. So story A, which we have, is clean, I believe. Oh, yeah. It's clean. Yeah, all clean. This is a nice story sheet. It's kind of big, but it's nice because everything's in the story. There's no random notes floating around. And let's go to Roger Gust. We should have his story. Escalation 3. Perfect. Clean story sheet for Roger Gust. Okay, let's see who we got here. Joel. Let's see if he's clean. So, yeah, he's actually pretty clean. All right, let's go. Who's next? James Robert. There might be some stuff down here. Nope. Yeah, later government discovered storage facility. Okay, so this is done. This is dialogue. We can put this here. Okay. Let's see. All right. So we got some dialogue there. Yeah. It's not really dialogue. It's like description of dialogue, but it's okay. It's something to argue about. Okay, and let's see. Because nothing's ever about the thing. So we got Joelle, James Robert. Let's see Tammy Lynn. Seems like we got some notes here. Ooh, lots of notes. Lots of notes. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, this is good stuff. Okay. She's such a twisted character. It's going to be so much fun writing her. I gotta figure out how they meet. Right? He's probably keeping her a secret from Joelle in the safe house. So, we'll see. Yeah, so this is a lot of writing. Like, I have to change my brain. This is now internal character psychology. She has to teach Garvin about periods. That's really funny. Rapey sex. So we've got that. Yeah. So I think we have that. Okay. Yep. So. Yep. Let's see. No. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is good. Oh, he gets a motel for her because he's got money. Garvin has money. That's right. I'll just put this note somewhere. Yeah. All his work. There we go. So that really belongs in a Joelle Gillette. Yeah. So yeah, there's got to be a stripper fight, right? So she tells him she's the only survivor. They're gonna kill her. Yeah. So now he's stuck with her. Cool. That's actually a good reason to run away with him. All right. So let's go back down here. Okay. Let's see. No. Let's see. Yeah. So this is the perfect place to put the goading. That's yep. Yep, she's like what happens what the other night, right? Why don't you do anything? Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. So we'll figure out that argument. That argument's going to be a gem. So yeah, she gets in his face. Yeah. Yeah. That's the one right there. So she okay. Okay. No. Yeah. She gets in his face. She's got to like do something to get in his face. What are you, gay or something like that? Yeah. And then oh, this is hilarious. Yeah, that's right there after that scene, right? Okay. Is this what having a girlfriend is like? Okay. I might be overloading that scene, but we'll see. We can always clean it up. Yeah, this is perfect. Actually, it's not overloading that scene because it sets up the next scene. Yeah. Yeah, great. So 1 second she was in a good mood, now she's in a bad mood. Actually, this is actually the same escalation. Da-da. She tries to get him. I think this could be this. All right. I think here is a good stopping point. Because, yeah, she tells Roger it's constant. Okay. Let's see. I gotta clean her up, but oh, this is good. Safe word thing. Okay, I gotta do some more work on her. Yeah, but this is important during the interview. Okay. This is all payoffs at this point. All right, and I think this is a good stopping point today. I know we have a little bit of work to do with Tammy, but yes. All right. This is hilarious. Yep. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Let's figure this out. This safe word thing is it's not ready. It's not ready. So I'm just gonna put it down. We're gonna leave this for next time. Because this is a really good little it's just a little beat about their relationships. Just making fun of the relationship here. Okay, so I think this is good. This is a good place to stop for a second. So let's review what we did here because we did a lot. So if we look at our stories, let's look at our stories. So we went through the A story, cleaned that up. We went through Roger, we went to Joelle, and now we're at Tammy Lynn. Let's look at Whitey Jackson real quick and see if there's a lot. Yeah, Whitey Jackson's already clean. Great. So we need Tammy Lynn. The police, maybe they're already clean. I don't even know if I'm going to include them. And at the end, and then Whitey Joel, let's see. And that's clean. So all our stories are pretty clean. I just have to clean up Tammy Lynn. So I'm going to put that in the to-dos because that's a big to-do. And it's a really good one. So we reviewed the character in the story sheets. And then I'm going to put here, clean up Tammy Lynn's story sheet. Okay. There we go. Oops. What happened there? Great. And so now we need to look at really quick the character sheets, see if there's any junk in there, and I'll add that to my to-dos if there is. Character. Let's see, Beatrice. Yes, lots of notes on Beatrice. So I do have to clean up the character sheets. See, Garvin, lots of notes. Okay. So I do have to clean up the character sheet. So let's do that. Let's have a story sheet and clean up character sheets. All right. Cool. All right. I think we're in a good spot right now to sort of cut it for today. Let's see. Let's go here and see what our summary says. So this is cleanup for the outline. Yeah, this is cleanup for the outline. We cleaned up most of the stories. We got one more story to go with Tammy Lynn. And then we got to go to the characters. We're going to clean them up, and then we're ready. Everything will be integrated, and we'll create our first sort of treatment of this thing. So it's going to be exciting, guys. We're getting close. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you so much for sticking with me, for those of you who are still watching. And if you're interested here, you know, if you want to learn the craft, if you want to learn how to do this stuff, oops. There we go. If you want to learn how to do this stuff, I'm so terrible at like making these. I got to pre-record one. I think that's what I got to do. So yeah, if you want to learn this craft, I'm a professional script doctor. And if you want to learn these exact tools demonstrated in this video that working writers use to write, rewrite, and develop stories quickly, I have a lecture, a paid lecture that shows you how. You can see the link here, and you know, the QR code. Other tools that you'll learn in this lecture apply to any form of narrative storytelling, screenplays, novels, comics, television, games, all of it. It includes full scene breakdowns from well-known films and hands-on guidance for anyone serious about telling stories. A portion of every sale supports the Arts Accelerator, a nonprofit dedicated to developing the skills of emerging artists. If you want to learn more about them, you could find them at artsaccelerator.org. It's all word, Arts Accelerator. And that's about it. Once again, if you are still here after at the very end, I appreciate it. Happy 4th of July, guys, and happy 250th anniversary to this incredible country of ours, this best country in the world. So thank everything it's given me, and it's a good day to reflect on how amazing everything is. So with that, I will leave you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next one.